Hello, everybody. Welcome to another tier list. Because tomorrow the PS5 comes out, so I thought we'd look back at all the PS4 exclusives. And this time around, we only have mostly Sony published exclusives. There's not a lot of third-party exclusives on this list. There are a few at the end, although there are some caveats on some of those. But there are a few, kind of, ish. But before we start, you're probably not gonna agree with me 100%. If that, probably not even close. So just giving you a heads up to prepare yourself mentally to have, things thrown in areas where you don't expect it. So expect the unexpected. Now, I kind of put this in chronological order so we can go by as the system went on in its life. And first off, we're going to start off with Knack. Now, I enjoy joking about Knack as much as, everybody else does. But I legitimately do enjoy this game. Like, I really actually like this game. I know that it's not exactly what they promised when they were first talking about it, because they talked about a 3D platformer. And it's more of a brawler, and it had some jumping. But I think it really got a lot of flack for no reason. And I'm going to give this an A. I thought, I had a fun time. It was pretty solid. And the sequel, I think, improved on it. So, let's actually go to the sequel right now. So the sequel improved on the game in every way. Because one of the things was that it was a 3D platformer that didn't have jumping. So what do they do? The first section of the game, it's just a platforming section. They proved to you that they heard what we said, and they try to improve on it. So, I think they listened to us. Oh, yeah, and they added more, I think, what was it, a kick? And they added a kick to Knack's moveset. And that was pretty cool, Added a bit more variety to the combat. But overall, the platforming was really what was important. And they showed us that in the very first level. So, there you go. So, hopefully we can get a Knack 5, or Knack 3 on the PS5. Yeah, that would be pretty good. But what's not good is Killzone Shadowfall. That was the most boring shooter I have ever played. I was barely able to get through, the first mission. I was so bored. These guys focused all of their attention on the graphics. Of course, the game looks great. It's just a bore to play. And yeah, let's just get past that. So, Driveclub. Driveclub, I think, was a pretty nice little racing game. It's tough. It's like a B minus C plus. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it off over here. Evolution, they're now shut down, but Evolution, were known for the MotorStorm games, and Driveclub was the next generation thing. That didn't really pan out as they thought, which is a shame, but yeah, I'd rather see more MotorStorm or something more akin to that.
Whoa, there's a giant lizard on the track. Yeah, I'm not joking, out of turn 3. Face to face with Godzilla then, mate.
Next up, we have Infamous Second Son. This is actually where I first got my PS4 on the launch of this game, and I spent the entire weekend just playing this game, and I beat it, and I did an evil run after that. I played a lot of that game when I first got a PS4, and Infamous First Light, I'm going to put just below that, because it's only one power. I know you had a little arena thing, so it had some variety, but it's one power instead of 3. Wait, what was it, 4? It's 4. I always forget the 4th one because you get it at the end of the game and you can't really use it because the game's over. So whatever. Bloodborne. Now, I'm not good with horror games, so when I first tried this game, it didn't go well, but I understand the appeal, and it is a good game. I can go back to it now and play more. Maybe that's because I've gotten better at it, and because I sucked at first. But yeah, it's a good game. Gravity Rush. Now, this is an absolutely underrated series. These games are amazing. I don't typically like remakes or remasters, but this game being ported from the Vita to the PS4, I think was a good thing, because otherwise it would have really slipped through the cracks for me. I had a Vita for like a second, and then I was like, yeah, this is not that great. So I got a PSP again. But this game is phenomenal and highly underrated. Go check this game out. Tearaway Unfolded is a 3D platformer, which I'm a big fan of. However, this game did not mesh with me. There was something just off about it with, to me. I don't know. It's a good game. It just didn't really connect with me. The Order 1886. Now, this game, as the gaming Brit would say, is shallow. And I do agree. It is, and there's an overemphasis on the story and the cutscenes, and you can't skip the cutscenes, and that's a problem, especially when, you beat the game and you're just trying to find game to play instead of waiting through all the cutscenes. So there are a lot of problems with this game, and I do understand that. I just think that, I see the potential, and there are moments when they actually let you play the game where it can be fun. So as much as it has going against it, I can't help but, find some enjoyment in this game. Even though it could have been a lot better if, they didn't focus so much on the story and the graphics and cutscenes and all that, and, worked more on the gameplay. Until Dawn is kind of a similar thing, except it's all about the story. It's more like, not exactly choose your adventure type thing, but it's more in that vein where that's kind of all it is. It's just about the story, and you just make choices, and it can affect and have the butterfly effect and all that. It was okay. You could, play it. I guess have a decent time. Yeah, whatever. No Man's Sky was hyped to the galaxy and back, and as a lot of people said, we don't really know what you actually do in the game when they were hyping this up. And I agree with the people that said all you do is gather supplies to fix your ship, which then breaks down, and then you gotta land another planet to do the same thing, and that's the entire loop. And that was not fun. I'm gonna put this over here. That's not my cup of tea. I am a big Ratchet and Clank fan. I have all the games. I even have the comic books. They're actually Ratchet and Clank comic books. I have my little Ratchet. I have a wrench. Two, actually, there's a wrench pen I have. But this remake was garbage. This remake just ruined, like, the origin of Ratchet and Clank. This is not at all a good, like, starting point for anybody that hasn't played Ratchet and Clank. This is not Ratchet and Clank. This is garbage. I even went and saw them. I pre-ordered the game, and I didn't play it because the movie was coming out shortly after. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see the movie, and then I'm gonna play the game. And then I went to see the movie. I dragged my brother, poor guy, and I was sitting there aghast. I was just like, what am I watching? This is terrible. And then I went home that night and played the game, and I was like, oh no, this is garbage. Jeez. Moving on, The Last Guardian. I haven't really finished. I haven't played through the entirety of Equal Earth Shadow, but my siblings really love those two games, and so when The Last Guardian came out, of course, I got it so they could play it. And one day, I was just bored, and I just started playing The Last Guardian, and I think it took me 2 or 3 sittings, but I played through the entire thing, and it was really amazing. I have a bit more of appreciation of where they're coming from. Now I'm gonna put it at an A. It is kind of borderline with an S in my opinion. There are some things like some people said about Trico kind of not always listening to what you say, although that's kind of the point since he's supposed to be a very realistic animal, and animals don't always do what you say. So it's a bit of a slippery slope, but I think it's a really wonderful game, and the wait was probably worth it because I think it really delivered. Uncharted 4, I have never really been into Uncharted. I think the first one was decent, but as the series went on, I grew less interested in it. So I actually haven't touched this game, and I'm not interested in this game. So I'm just gonna leave that down there. Bound is this interesting platformer type game. It's not really platforming, it's more like ballerina-ing game. It's different, and I think they really tried something. And while I didn't really play the game a lot, I just went in and I tried it for a while, and I got a feel for it, and it wasn't for me, but I can see what they were going for, and I think they did a good job. And there are other people that are gonna enjoy that. So I'm gonna put it at a B because I think it is a well-made game. It just wasn't for me. Just like this next game, Gran Turismo Sport. I think Gran Turismo 6 really turned me off from this series. I just had a bad time with that game. I didn't have any fun. And, with Gran Turismo Sport, there was like this whole microtransactions like debacle. And, I just didn't touch it. Again, what I am interested is in Gravity Rush. Let's put that where it goes. Come on, guys. Gravity Rush. You gotta try it out. It's amazing. It is the opposite of Horizon Yawn. This game was terribly boring. It's competent. It's I can, opposed to Killzone and Ratchet and Clank, I can understand why people, might enjoy, open world archery, machine animals. I don't know. I just found it extremely dull, and I was bored the entire time that I played, which is why I dropped it really fast, and I just got rid of it, because it just wasn't for me. Everybody's Golf was a decent little golf game. I thought I was gonna like it more than I did, but it was actually kind of underwhelming, especially now that I played, Golf with the Move. Now it's really underwhelming, because now I just sit there and hit a button instead of, swinging like an actual golf club. It was fine. Nioh is, I think, kind of in the vein of Bloodborne, except not scary. Well, in my opinion, not scary. I don't, like I said, I don't do good with horror, but I think, it's kind of up there with Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, all that. Tough as nails game, but really enjoyable. Drawn to Death is dead, but when I was able to play it, I had fun. It's not something that's gonna blow you away, but I think it was something that you can try and play for a while and just have some fun. Malicious Fallen is actually a remake, sequel, I'm not quite sure. It's confusing. I looked it up. I was a bit confused. Apparently it was on the PS3, and I never heard of this game until I found out about the PS4 version. But it's this game where it's kind of like you just fight a bunch of bosses. It kind of reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus in a way, where all it is boss fights. Now, these boss fights are bullet sponges, because it took me so long just to take down one of them. I swear, I don't know how long it was, but I was just hammering away at that guy forever, and it just took so long. The game like has an interesting look. I think the mechanics are interesting, and the idea of just just having a game about bosses is interesting. I feel like it would have been better to have actual stages instead of just the boss fights and, stuff like that. I still enjoyed my time, even though I got a bit annoyed at the end there. So I'm going to put this at a B. Detroit. This is something that I streamed with my girlfriend on my channel, but then we moved it over to this separate channel we have for streaming, which we haven't really used much since. We had fun streaming it together. I think she enjoyed it more than I did. And while I did enjoy, when we played it together, if you really think about it, there were things that she was, that I was saying that she was being bugged about, but that was me pointing out that were kind of bottlenecked on a lot of choices, and some things kind of bugged me. So if you don't have somebody just to have fun and just go through this, and you're just playing by yourself, and you kind of a bit more critical, I guess, when you play by yourself. So I'm gonna put this at a C. God of War. I wasn't a fan of the other God of Wars already, and this one didn't really push me in any positive direction. So I'm just not gonna rate it. It was not for me. Spiderman was okay. It was fine. It was just a big AAA game. To me, it was in the same camp as Horizon. It's a fine game. I found it dull. I found it boring. I don't know. I just didn't get anything from it. Shadow of the Colossus remake. So in previous videos, I've been kind of critical on the PS5 and remasters and all that. I understand that it might be kind of hypocritical because of Gravity Rush Remastered, but I see that differently, because if it wasn't for that remaster, then that game would have just died on the Vita. Meanwhile, we have a legendary game here that was remade, and all it did is just, it looks like other games now. It kind of lost that different look that it had. And I understand that it's because it was pushing the limits on the PS2, that they used certain things to mask, what they were doing. But I still feel like that added something to the game. They had to really push the limits while being artistic at the same time. I understand that the frame rate was kind of bad, but when you're trying to push something like that, like it's something that was revolutionary, and it just got lost in translation. I don't know. It just looks like any other game. This is my problem with remasters or remakes. Like, sometimes they just don't get the feel of the game. I'm looking at you, Ratchet and Clank. So I don't really like this. I understand that other people can play Shadow of the Colossus now, but it's not really the same as the original. That goes with like Demon Souls as well. Like, I don't understand. Demon Souls, it already looks really well on the PS3. What point do you have to remake it? I don't understand. Whatever, I'll just leave that there. Astro Bot. Somebody commented on my top 10 platformers on the PS4 that this is actually the best 3D platformer on the PS4. Sadly, you need a VR to play this game. I don't have a VR, so I cannot experience this game. But let me tell you, I have looked it up. I've seen videos of this game, and it looks amazing. And I'm so sad that I cannot play this game. Like, I know I can, on the PS5, they have a new one that's going to be pre-installed. I'm not getting a PS5 anytime soon. I am just out on a raft in the middle of the ocean with no Astro Bot. I'm going to put it in S, though, because it looks absolutely fantastic. And whoever that dude is, I trust your judgment, dude. Concrete Genie was an interesting game. I made a video about Concrete Genie. I don't really think it lived up to the potential that I thought it had. In my mind, it was more of a 3D platformer, and it wasn't. So that's kind of on me. But then when I played the game, I didn't really... It was okay, but I didn't really enjoy it as much. So I'm going to put that as a C. Days Gone was a surprise. This game I thought was going to be, another open world game, whatever, right? And I go in, and of course, at the beginning, it crashes my PS4. I'm like, okay, so I got to restart, whatever, bad start. But then I actually, get a bit deeper into the game, and I really I start to dig it, I have never really understood the survival genre, like those types of games, but, here, running out of ammo and trying to, get rid of these nests while I have no ammo. So I gotta figure out how can I, get a few zombies away by themselves, because all I got is melee weapons. And running out of med kits, so I need to go find more supplies so I can heal, because I'm almost dead. And I think I better understand why people, enjoy some of these games. And it really gave me a newfound appreciation for some of these. And, I thought it was really well made. And I'm going to put it at an A. Yeah. Death Stranding. So, this is only here because it was very heavily pushed by Sony. But the final product, it's something that I am not interested in getting within 6 feet of. Now, I put an MLB game on here because, those are PlayStation exclusives. They're made by, last I remember it was San Diego. I think it's not San Diego anymore. I don't know. I just stay on MLB 09. But I did make a video about this one, and it's a baseball game. So, fine enough, I guess. But it has microtransactions. So I'm just going to put it down here instead. So this is another one that I made a video on. Monkey King. It was, I had some promising ideas, and I really liked the fact that it had anthropomorphic animals. But in the end, we land over here. It was something that was a lot of missed potential. And there's another game, I forget what it's called, but that looks exactly like it for the PS5. But many people are saying that it's really good, and it is looking really good. So hopefully that can be the anthropomorphic game that this was trying to be. Dreams kind of came and went without any fanfare, it seems. I remember it was the beta was coming out soon, or some sort of thing so that people can try the game out. And then all of a sudden, I remember just seeing it at a store. So this was, I don't know what happened in this game. There wasn't a lot of advertisement, or it just kind of fell through the cracks. I don't know. This was okay. I don't. Maybe I'll make something on Dreams. I don't know. What have we got here? Sucker Punch game? Say no more. Sucker Punch is one of Sony's better first-party studios, and as you've heard all around the internet, everywhere when this game came out, people said it was amazing. Yes, it is amazing. They did a fantastic job, and it's the swan song of the PS4. It's terrific. Now, these are the third-party exclusives. Nier Automata, it was exclusive to the PS4. I think timed exclusive because it came to the PC, but it was, and it's a fantastic game. Wonderful. Try it out. Let It Die. If you don't remember, Let It Die, it was a PlayStation exclusive free-to-play game that was all the rage for a month, and then I think people kind of dropped it. It was decent enough. I was part of the trend of people that played it for a while. I don't think I played it for a month. I played it for a week maybe, or a couple of days. I don't know. My attention span is really low when it comes to sticking on games, but It was a decent game. Cool. It did come to PC, I think 2 years later or something like that. Demon Gaze 2, I think technically it was on the Vita as well. Although I think this was after Sony announced that the Vita was a legacy system. So that's kind of why I put it on here. Also, it was something a bit different, but as much as it, like, the gameplay was different and interesting, you have to go through mountains of dialogue. And I just don't understand what it is with some modern Japanese games where there's just so much dialogue. You just have to swim through just wades and wades of dialogue. And I'm sitting there, I don't know how long, mashing X, trying to get past all this dialogue to get to some gameplay. And I still have to mash X more to go through dialogue because I'm not at the gameplay. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Because the gameplay actually is interesting, I think. You know, it's a first-person... It's like a grid type, but from first-person view, and then you have your random enemy encounters. So I think the gameplay is interesting. It's always just a chore to get through it. Oh. I'm going to put it at C in the middle, because it has some good, but then it has some bad that's really bad. The Witch and the 100 Knight 2. That's right, there's a sequel. I haven't heard anybody talk about this game, which is a shame, because I feel like it's just another Witch and the 100 Knight, but now you get, a second playable character. You can play as the Witch. And yeah, it's just another fun game. Nobody talks about it, though. So maybe I'll make a video about it. Maybe I should. Nobody else has talked about it. Should I? If you've come this far, tell me in the comments below. Or tell me how wrong I am of my opinions. Now we have Star Ocean. Star Ocean came out on the PS3, but I think only in Japan. We didn't get the PS version over here because we're not cool like that. So, technically speaking, I guess it was a PS4 exclusive over here. And while I do understand some people have gripes that the cutscenes weren't traditional, they were more like in-game cutscenes where the models are still there and they're just kind of, their mouths are talking, and you have the people doing their dialogue. And I didn't think that was going to be a big deal going in, but then it happened and I was like, no, you have a point there. Which is a shame because I feel like the game actually is really good. So I'm going to put it at an A. I feel like if they had, really good cutscenes, it would have really bumped it up to an S. So that's a shame, but I feel like some people are a bit too harsh on it over that. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks, and yeah, it does take away from certain elements, but I feel like the game overall is still really solid. Judgment. Now, I put this one over here because the Yakuza games aren't really PS4 exclusives anymore. They're on PC as well, but this one is PS4 exclusive. I have not played this game, though. I was actually thinking about going and buying the first Yakuza on the PS2. For some reason, I bought Yakuza. Oh dear, which one did I buy? I bought one of the remakes on the PS4. I don't know when. I just buy stuff sometimes. I don't know what happens. I don't even know why. I haven't touched it. And I'd probably I'd rather just buy the PS2 version and just play that. I really don't get myself sometimes. Lastly, we have Nex Machina. Nex Machina. And this one isn't exclusive to the PS4. I kind of cheated this in here. This is basically just House Marquee, because House Marquee did, I believe, 2 games. It was Alienation and Matterfall, I believe, were PS4 exclusives. This one was not. However, this one was my favorite House Marquee game that they did. I found it lots of fun, so I put this here instead. It's kind of cheating. This is just my House Marquee game. This one's not exclusive. It's either Alienation or Matterfall. But yeah, Nex Machina was better in my opinion, so I just threw it in there. And that's my list. I know that, lots of people are not going to like this list. You have a lot of the big games at the bottom of my list, or I just didn't bother to put them on the list. Anyway, I like the more interesting, different types of games that Sony makes. And, it's kind of sad that they don't seem to be doing all that well. I know Gravity Rush hasn't sold well, which is a shame, because those are terrific games. Please try them out, people. But I know Knack, people joke about that, but it actually is a solid game. So, yeah, that's my list for the PS4. Tell me your opinions. A lot of people will probably not agree with me, so you can let me know below. Or you can make your own list. I'll put the link in the description box so you can go and make your own tier list of PS4 exclusives, and you can post it and share it, and I will actually look at them. There's a dude that made a list of PS3 exclusives, the one that I made, and I want to take a look at it. It was actually pretty interesting. But that's all for today. If you are getting a PS5 tomorrow, have fun. If you are not, don't worry about it. You can just play a different game. Or, play a different game, go back to the PS3. Lots of options. I would say go back to the PS3. Those are some warm arms to go back to. I have done that various times. Trust me. Or don't, because of my list. But hey, the PS3 is great. Also, Gravity Rush, go try it. Alright, see you guys next time.